Yes, people, this is Kojo Raps on TV live from Las Vegas. We are here the day of the big fight. I'm joined by a man that's known by many faces, Mr. Viddal Riley. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So I'm going to start with the Wilder versus Fury fight. We saw the weigh-in yesterday. Fury came in 273, Wilder obviously 231. What's your thoughts on that as in terms of the weight and the increase for both guys?
Wilder, to be fair, he's got a lot of room to increase his weight if he wanted to, because he's a small heavyweight anyway. Small meaning mass, not a height, obviously, but his power balances everything out for him. So 231, 220 for Wilder doesn't really matter, because his golden ticket is his right hand, not his movement or anything that's affected by mass per se. He might hit scarily, he might hit harder if he's heavier, but we'll see. Fury, I guess, punch resistance can improve with more mass, limits movement, but Fury can move anyway. So maybe if it limits his movement, it won't be that exponential. So I think fair enough. As a heavyweight, it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. It starts to become less of a problem. We see AJ decreased his weight a lot to fight Ruiz the second time, and his game plan, you could see he needed to be a lot lighter. With these two guys, I don't think the weight we should look into that much.
I mean, and that's a fair point. I think one of the things that we want to look into is the strategy of both guys. Fury's talked about coming in and getting the early knockout. Fury's and Wilder's kind of said the same thing, but do you expect both guys to be kind of cagey to start with, and then maybe in the middle rounds we start to see a fight kick off?
I think Wilder and Fury both get knocked down.
In this fight?
In this fight, yeah.
Okay.
And Fury could knock him out round 5. I think he's going to get dropped early. I think Fury's going to get dropped early.
Yeah.
You got to remember the spirit and where Fury's from. He's a traveler. You know, these guys, when they decide that they're going to fight you, they fight you. That's how they're bred. That's how they grow. So if he goes in there saying, I'm going to just outman you and just be a bigger man than you, with the amount of support and the family and how they think, I can see it happening. He's going to get dropped. Wilder's going to blow himself out trying to stop him and then get stopped a couple rounds later.
All right, so that's your prediction going into this fight, yeah? I mean, great to hear. Great to get your prediction so early. In terms of Wilder, though, so what kind of adjustments would you like to see him make to make this fight competitive, or do you think he can't make the adjustments?
I don't think Wilder can adjust much. In the Ortiz fight, he adjusted by throwing the right hand less, which made Ortiz's brain numb to the fact that it was on the way. So you saw for about 6 rounds he didn't throw it, and he just kind of poured with the jab. And I guess, you know, if something stops coming, you start to get more lazy towards the fact it's on its way. So he's starting to use the fact that his right hand, his one punch right hand power, he saves it. That's the adjustment he made. So that's a tactical adjustment. But besides that, I don't think Wilder's capable of making many adjustments. He's not going to start getting to the body more or start using angles more, because it's not in him. He doesn't have that. But what will happen is he'll probably be more patient like he was with Ortiz and start dropping the right hand in when Fury gets a bit overconfident. That's pretty much it.
Do you remember the first fight at all?
I was there.
Yeah.
I was at the first fight.
So I want to get your thoughts on something. Jack Reese was the ref from the first fight. In the BT Sport documentary, he said that he believed Wilder won the first 4 rounds. From his perspective, even though he was a ref, he didn't see it the way the judges saw it. What's your thoughts on that kind of a statement?
Americans judge differently. They judge on aggression, and they judge on who's bringing the fight. They don't judge on boxing ability unless it's Floyd Mayweather. That's the only person who they judge boxing ability on. Most of the time, the aggressor, they give points to. So I see why Jack Reese said that. And I don't agree with it, but I'm just saying, like, I know how they judge. So if someone's bringing the fight to another person, they say, well, without him, there'd be no fight, so he's winning.
So, and on that point, I guess the key thing that was brought out this week, Kenny Bayless was announced as the ref. Good ref, we all know him, but then there's just 3 American judges. Does that kind of solidify for you that while Fury needs to take it out of the judges' hands, knowing that he's got 3 home fighters, or fighting in the US, you think that's pretty standard?
Oh, last time he had John Keane, I think. He had a UK judge. So
And the UK
judge gave it a draw. So it doesn't matter, innit? It's a matter of sometimes, man, the thing that's bad about boxing is that you can never just win. Even if it's close, it's a win. You know, Man United play Arsenal 2-1. It's a win. You don't have to win 4-1 to get 3 points. You know, but in boxing, the way they've made the sport is if you do not smash the other side, you can't get a decision. And that's unfortunate because not everyone you're capable of beating by a landslide. So hopefully we don't have no controversy with the judges this time round. But you know how the sport is, man. It's just a shame that it's like that. You can't scrape a victory. Every other sport you can scrape a victory. And then this one you can't.
And on that, I mean, you raise a good point. If you look at not just when you spoke about scraping a victory, sometimes it's the competitiveness of both fighters. When you've got two fighters that are elite, it doesn't mean it's going to be a landslide at any stage. So that plays its part, right?
Yeah, you know, it's sometimes it goes like that. In Champions League finals are won on penalties. You know, this should be okay to win close. Yeah. But it ain't that way. Yeah. And hopefully, I don't think this fight's going to points anyway. Yeah.
And obviously, the big news during the fight, during the lead-up, was Ben Davison not joining camp for Tyson Fury. I will ask your thoughts on it, but Sugar Hill's very notoriously known. What do you know about him also? Because you've been based in the States, so I'm sure you're building your knowledge of the good coaches. So just tell me your thoughts on Sugar Hill and also Davison not being in camp, what that could do.
Sugar Hill's a great coach, great mentor to teach him what he knows. So we can never be like, oh, Tyson Fury made a bad decision for getting Sugar Hill. Was it an unnecessary decision? Possibly. Can Fury learn that much more at this stage in his career after the style that he's had for so many years? Maybe not. To say it's stupid is wrong. Yeah. To say
I didn't say that. Though,
to say I know. I'm just speaking for the many.
Yes.
But unnecessary, probably. Yeah. He won the fight with Ben Davison. It was a draw, but he won the fight. I was listening. I watched the fight about 2 days ago. Their advice was great. Oh, he got openings, don't go for it yet. Be patient, it will come. It's good for you. You're the man. Right advice. But Tyson knows what he knows what he's doing, and so
I'm just going to ask you something, because obviously you're based out in Las Vegas as well, right? So I've been speaking to a lot of their fight fans, American fight fans, and I kind of feel that they're just underestimating Fury and not understanding what he brings to the table and just presuming Wilder will get the knockout. From your experience being in the gyms, have you had to kind of not necessarily convince but express how good a fighter Fury is?
No, Fury gets a lot of respect out here. AJ gets less than Fury.
I found that out as well this week.
Yeah, and I don't think that's down to boxing ability. I think that's personality. Yeah. Just Americans connect more with someone who's more charismatic, someone who's more in your face and has more confidence.
Yeah, speaks their truth.
Yeah, AJ's too humble for over here. Yeah. And that's why they give Fury credit.
Oh, good.
So, and he deserves it.
Yeah.
He deserves it, but you don't have to convince anyone that Fury's a great fighter. And anyone that's seen the first fight will know Fury's a great fighter. It's harder to convince people that Wilder is the man, to be honest.
Fair enough.
And the weigh-in yesterday, was you at the weigh-in?
Yes, I was at the weigh-in, yeah.
And it felt like it was in Manchester.
100%.
Didn't feel like it was in Vegas.
And they're going to feel like that tonight.
And I like Deontay Wilder. I think Deontay Wilder is a great personality for the sport. Great balance between confidence and being humble and why he even got into the sport. But Fury's loved out here.
Yeah. And I'm just going to get a couple of questions about yourself. You mentioned to me off camera that you're fighting this Friday. Just tell us where you're fighting, the kind of opponent, and what we can look forward to seeing from yourself in 2020.
So I'll be fighting here in Vegas next Friday. That will be on a Showtime New Generation thing, which is like a show for prospects that are coming up. My opponent is 4-1-1, so decent record. Had a ton of MMA fights, so he's got a lot of combat experience as well. And it's my first fight since May last year, so we'll shake some rust off. I'm not a true believer in rust anyway. As long as you have good sparring and a good camp, you should be okay. I know it's nothing like the real thing, but as long as your timing is good and you're patient, you use your jab, you can get rid of rust. So I'm looking forward to having a great performance, showing people as much as I've been involved in the coaching side of things with the YouTubers, and that's boosted my popularity. Don't forget what I've been doing for 16 years. Yeah, and on that as well, in the UK we've got MTK, they've got this golden contract format. I was going to ask you, would you ever come back to the UK to potentially enter that tournament?
for your weight class?
I'm already good in terms of promotions. You know, I'm already in a solid deal with Mayweather Promotions, and they're gonna guide me the right way over here. We will come back to the UK, but I will come back to the UK when it's big. I want to come back when I can stop London and say, listen, this is worth coming to. I'm not fighting someone who you think I'm going to knock out in 2 rounds. This is a hard fight. And we're going to go and prove that in front of my home audience. Great setup what they got over there with the golden ticket. MTK are all around, they're all over, man. And they've really built very quickly compared to a lot of other promotions and brands, just for the sheer fact that they accept a lot of fighters and talented fighters. But it's unheard, you know, there's only been 3 fighters in history from the UK that have been signed to Mayweather Promotions: Ashley Fearfane, Savannah Marshall, and myself. And I'm fortunate to be in that position, and I know they will guide me correctly.
And you're right on that. I mean, I know Ashley Fearfane quite well. I trained with him down at All Stars. Came over to Washington when he got his world title shot against Broner. So from that perspective, no matter what anyone said, you're with the right team that will potentially get you the title shots if you keep winning your fights, right?
Yeah, and they're always part of the biggest events. You know, Mayweather Promotions co-promote with PBC all the time. This show tonight is co-promoted by Mayweather Promotions. So if I want to get on the big cards and the big undercards, they can provide it. The biggest cards in history have been Mayweather promoted shows. So why would I not want to be a part of it? My second fight, being part of Mayweather Promotions, I fought on the Pacquiao and Broner undercard here at MGM. These things are rare.
Yes, very rare.
And I'm getting these opportunities through the connections of my promotion team. So I can't complain. I'm happy.
And I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions after on the YouTube thing. I know the last sort of 12 months has really come to fore with the DAZN deal, and you're working with KSI. Just talk to us about how you started the coaching element and what you're doing to sort of like advance your ability to perform as a coach at that level.
You know, coaching for me is, for those guys, is more simple because it's just teaching the basics. I'm not about to teach them too many things that are advanced because it's hard to perform the basics even under pressure, and we've seen that. You know, when KSI was boxing Logan, he took all the basics out the window and just swung for the fences, and that was, he told me, that was just adrenaline, nerves and pressure. Fair enough, but he got the victory. So coaching for me, for them, is something I'm passionate about. I'm definitely emotionally invested because they're my friends first. It's not a job for me. It's more like my friends are gonna fight. I need to make sure they win. That's why it was painful when Gib lost, because it was like I saw my friend lost. Not, oh, I'm a coach, pay me, I'm gonna go back to my family, see you later. It was like, damn, that's my friend, you know, like, yeah, it's my boy. Like, I've seen him lose. It's like, but it also teaches me a lot. It gives me insight. It gives me hindsight. It allowed, when Gib lost, it's like, I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be in this position. I don't want to lose on a big platform like he just did. Get yourself back in the gym and work hard so that ain't you. When KSI wins in front of Staples Center, 20,000 people, I want to be here. I want to win in front of 20,000 people and be on pay-per-view. So it gives me a chance to really see the sport on the biggest level, not skill-wise, but the promotions, the press conferences, the weigh-ins, the fight week. I'm used to all of that now, and I haven't even been on one of them myself as the fighter.
And I think I just want to ask you about the two guys. Obviously, they are your friends, Gib and Anderson Gib and KSI. Just talk to me about how they're feeling about potentially fighting again in 2020. I know Gib recently lost, but
they're not fighting again this year. I can guarantee you that. That's not going to happen. If any of them fight, it would be 2021. They're not going to fight this year. Too busy, too many things going on, too many negotiations to be made. Won't be done by the end of this year. No worries.
Well, listen, Viddal, thank you very much for your time. I know there's a queue of guys that want to speak to you. All the best this coming Friday with your fight, and hopefully we'll get a post-fight interview with you after you get that victory. Cheers. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you, man.